Community Forum. I'm Dana Gagnon at Waycross Community Media, and today we are spotlighting Habitat for Humanity of Greater Cincinnati. We have in our studio today Sarah Reynolds, who is the Marketing and Communications Officer of Habitat for Humanity of Greater Cincinnati. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
The first thing I want to cover are the basics. What's Habitat for Humanity? What do you do? Can you give us an overview?
Yeah, so our vision is simple. We envision a world where everyone has a safe, decent, and affordable place to live. So here in Greater Cincinnati, most people know us as building homes. And so we do that. We build about 20 homes per year in partnership with first-time home buyers. So the Habitat for Humanity model is that first-time home buyers partner with us. They're on site every week building their homes. They attend homeownership classes, and then at the end of their home buying process or the home building process, they purchase their home with a 0% interest mortgage.
I love that because you said a lot of words that we don't always, and I know misconceptions are the next thing we want to talk about, that we don't always hear when we hear Habitat for Humanity. There's misconceptions that you make a home and just give it to someone.
Correct.
And that's not how it works. Talk a little bit, I know you hit it, but talk a little bit about what's different.
Yeah, so that is one of our very biggest misconceptions. People think Habitat for Humanity and think that we give away homes, and that is absolutely not the case. Anybody who has gone through the Habitat process will tell you that it is a lot of work. It is not a handout. We say it's a hand up, not a handout. So anybody who goes through the process has to be on site every Saturday building their house, swinging a hammer, painting the walls. They work with right alongside volunteers and our site supervisors to actually physically build their house. They put in about 200 hours of sweat equity doing that. And then they also attend financial education classes and have to learn about being a good homeowner, home maintenance, all of those kinds of things. And then at the end of it, they are given a mortgage. This is a 0% interest mortgage and have to make payments like any other home mortgage.
You've removed barriers to owning a home, having a large amount of money ready to go to put down ahead of time. So that's a lot of the things that having something with a lot of interest because you have no record because you're a first home buyer. But also there's so much personal investment that they're part of that process that they do have a mortgage. You just made it accessible. They do have investment, but it was their actual labor out on the site. And that education aspect is honestly, who couldn't benefit from that financial education aspect in general? And this home ownership part isn't even the only thing that you do because you have some other programs in addition to that now also.
Yeah, correct. So one of our newest, biggest growing programs is our home repair program. So this is for critical home repairs. Right now we have a couple different programs within our critical repair program umbrella. The first is aging in place. And so that is for adults who are 60 and older, who need help with accessibility modifications or critical home repairs. The second is our veteran repair program. So that is for veterans or military connected families. So that includes spouses or surviving spouses. And then our third, in certain areas, we can help with lead remediation through our partner agencies. So we have one in Claremont County and in Hamilton County right now.
I like how that expands the number of homes that you can keep people in. You know, if you envision a world where everyone has a safe, decent, and affordable place to live, which is the mission, obviously the new homes get you there. But when you think about how many people are in a home, but it's at a point where there's some really critical repairs that are needed that affect if it's safety and if they can stay in this home. It just seems like that these home repair programs help you really expand the number of homes that you can keep people in and accessible to. I like that.
Yes, so this is our newest program, and we've just found that there's such a great need for it. I mean, in Cincinnati and Greater Cincinnati area, our homes are aging, and that means that there is a ton of maintenance and upkeep. But not only that, most of the people who partner with us to repair their homes, they've lived in their homes for many decades, and so this is their home. It's in their community where they have all the connections and safety net. And so nobody wants to leave their home. Everyone wants to age in the place where they belong, and then the home with the memories. And so our critical repair program actually allows people to age in their home and to be safe in their home and stay where it's affordable, because a lot of them have already paid off their mortgages. And yeah, where they're happiest.
I want to stop here because if someone is listening and they're thinking, how do I get involved in part of these programs? I need access to a home, or I need access to help with some critical home repairs. Is there a website or a location? How do they get in contact to find out more?
Yes, so all of our information is on our website, which is habitatcincinnati.org. There are different applications for all of our different programs, but that is a great starting point.
Okay, so start there at the website. We talked about the misconceptions. It's not just, there, of course, is a show that a lot of us have watched where someone says, move that bus, and a person winds up with a whole house ready to go. And people have looked back and said, oh, the records aren't that good about how that works out in the family further down the road. And to see the difference, like, you've solved all the problems. Hey, you had to be invested in making this house. And hey, we're going to give you financial education to make sure you can continue moving on with the mortgage and establishing your credit with, it's just, there's a whole lot more going on there than just a room to be in and walls around you. But there's also something to be said for walls around you on a regular basis. Let's talk about any kind of recent trends that you've seen as you've been looking at this program over the years. Are you seeing any recent changes relating to the need for housing?
Yes, absolutely. We've always had a need for housing, but I feel like in the recent years, especially since the pandemic, this has been a top issue in our community and around the country. Just the affordability of homes is, huge. Like, it's not affordable anymore. Not only that, but we don't have the housing stock that we need to house all of the people who need homes. We're not building new homes, especially single-family homes, that are at that starter home rate, at a rate that we really need.
And when you talk about the kind of people that are looking for affordable housing, talk about what groups you are seeing in those demographics.
A lot of people that come to us looking to partner with us to be a part of the affordable homeownership program. Most people, so our qualifications are you have to be under 80% AMI, and you have to have an income that supports paying your mortgage.
Can you tell me what AMI stands for?
Yeah, so that stands for the American Median Income. So that is a government set number. And if you are curious, if you fall under 80% AMI, you can go on our website. You'll find your household size and then the amount of income that you have for the month. So for a lot of our home buyers, those are people who are working, hardworking professionals like paraprofessionals in education, and a lot of the service industry professionals, a lot of caregivers or people driving buses. We have a wide range of people who apply for our programs.
And you have been building homes in a lot of our local communities. You're in suburbs, you're in all different kinds of parts. What are some of the places that you've opened houses recently?
Yeah, so currently we are building about 5 homes in East Price Hill. We are finishing up our 2 final homes in Oxford, and we just finished a 20-house subdivision in Oxford with these 2 final homes. We've built a lot of homes in West College Hill, and a lot of homes in Lockland over the last few years.
And you're seeing a lot of need for home repair now. You said you added this program. Where are you seeing those requests coming from?
So those are all over the tri-state area. So we actually serve 9 counties. We serve Hamilton County and the 8 counties that surround it, including in Northern Kentucky and in Indiana. So our home repair team is on the road all the time.
So your home repair team, is that volunteers? Are they people that you hire to go and do things? Who is this group?
Yeah, we have a wonderful group of about 4 people who go and they meet with each homeowner who's a part of our program, and they'll walk through their home and decide which projects we are able to help with and like which ones are the most pressing. And then they help coordinate it subcontractors. We have a wonderful group of subcontractors that work with us. Sometimes if we're able, we will do the repairs ourselves too, but most of the time it's coordinating subcontractors.
Okay. Well, and that's good to know, because if someone asks for help in this program, they kind of want to know if it's going to be done properly or safely. So
yeah, exactly. And we only work with people who we trust.
That's good to know. Okay, that's good to know. You've heard that. Talk about some of the benefits. What's the why? Why is it important to have home ownership available to a greater group of people?
Yeah, so 29% of people in Greater Cincinnati are not able to afford their homes. So that means that you're having to make hard choices between paying for groceries and paying for rent, or prioritizing healthcare costs, or paying for rent, or furthering your higher education, or any of those kinds of things. So when you're able to move into a Habitat home, your mortgage is guaranteed to be affordable. That's less than 30% of your income, which means that then you can focus on those other things. So I had a mom tell me recently that she actually came in because she had just paid off her mortgage so she'd been in her home for over 30 years.
Okay.
And she told me that as soon as she was able to move into her Habitat home and her costs went down, she was able to prioritize paying for a tutor for her kids. And her oldest just graduated with her master's from Xavier and is now a mental health professional. So just those kinds of stories we love those kinds of stories, but that just illustrates how important housing affordability is, because there's so many other aspects of your life that you really need to prioritize. But when you're just feeling like you're drowning because of the unaffordability of housing, then you're stuck.
And do you feel like your requests for this have gone up?
For sure. And that's why we are at Habitat Greater Cincinnati trying to grow our programs rapidly, because there's such a need for it. We open our application period a few times a year, and we have probably 5 times as many qualified applicants as we have houses available.
So we've talked about the why and kind of the how. What's coming forward? What's the next thing we're going to see from the Greater Cincinnati Habitat for Humanity?
Yeah, so I'm pleased to announce that we just broke ground on our 700th home. So we are thrilled with that. So that will be one of our East Price Hill homes, is our 700th. We are finishing up our subdivision in Oxford. So stay tuned for an announcement about what else we're going to be doing in Oxford in the coming year or two. So.
Is a whole subdivision a normal thing for you to do? I mean, that's outstanding to do an entire subdivision.
This is our first subdivision that we have done in Greater Cincinnati. Okay. It's a model that other habitats around the country use, but this is our first one. Yes.
Let me ask how people get involved, because I feel like at this point we have asked about how people apply if they need help, but I think at some point someone listening is thinking, okay, well, how do I get to be part of the helping in this organization? What are the different ways? Now, one way is to donate, and that goes for everybody that's doing a nonprofit. So I know we can find information about that on your website, and you actually have a partner related to that.
Yeah, so we actually have a generous donor who came forward and is matching donations right now. So you can learn about that on our website.
That's exciting, but there's some other ways that people can help also.
Correct, yeah. So volunteering is a huge part of our organization. Our homes are affordable because we use volunteer labor to help us build our homes. So we need people on site building our homes. We need people in our restores who helping to sort through donations and price them and that kind of thing. And you can volunteer with your group. You can volunteer as an individual. So you can learn all about that online.
If you want to come out to the home site and be part of that project, what kind of background do you need?
You don't need any background. So our site supervisors are fantastic. They are able to, they're so used to teaching people how to build a home. So they break everything down and give you, clear instructions. So you need absolutely no tools, no background, but you will be able to help on site building a home.
What a neat thing as a resident of a community to, we talk about building your community. I mean, that's literally building your community. And I love that so much as an opportunity. Do you have an age range? Do they have to be a certain age? Do you have scout troops that come out?
So yeah, you have to be 16 and older to be on
Okay.
our build site.
Okay.
But there's no cap. So
Okay.
anyone else is invited to come out on site. And like you said, building community physically, but also we think that there is no better way to build community and relationships than by volunteering with your neighbor on site. And so often you'll see people from, that you've never met before, and you get to know them by the end of the day, or you're volunteering right next to the home buyer as well. So,
do you see any volunteers that say, wow, I have no idea how much I loved physically building things with my hands. I think I'm going to do more of this?
Oh yeah, all the time. So we have one event every year called Women Build, and this event happens in May.
Okay.
But I was just talking to a Women Build volunteer about her experience recently, and she told me with Women Build, you get a whole team of women together, and you kind of fundraise together, and then you build the house. And this woman told me that her whole team is so excited to come back because they had such a great time on site. And then they went home and felt empowered to do all kinds of things around their house that they didn't know how to do before. And so even just a few days on site, they're feeling empowered. Because really, a house is just made up of, the materials, and you get to see the inside of it. So.
I love that. Now, so donating, volunteering, but also we mentioned the restores. So tell me what the restores are.
Yeah, so the restores are home improvement thrift stores. So they're a social enterprise for Habitat for Humanity. So all of the proceeds from the restore go directly back into our programs. So when you shop at the restore, you are helping to build homes in our community.
We talked about some stories, the person that came back and said, I'm watching my kid graduate college now because I was able to help make that happen. Do you have a favorite part about being on a Habitat site?
There's so many favorite parts. But I think the one that sticks out to me is when you go on site to volunteer and you're able to see the framing of the house. A lot of times volunteers, when they're there, will write blessings or well wishes or like encouragement on the 2x4s. And so when you walk into a Habitat house, you're just surrounded by all these like messages of love and support for the family. And that's really my favorite part.
Never has a construction site been such a encouraging place to stand anywhere. That's fantastic. And that's such a tangible way to just feel the impact of what's happening on there.
Yeah, for sure. And I get to meet with a lot of people, later on in their process if they've lived in their house for several years. And they always say that they remember that and they can feel it in their house and the support.
What's the longest, and this isn't a statistic or anything, but what's the longest of someone staying in their Habitat house?
That is a good question. I talked to somebody recently who lived in their house, I think it was 38 years. But we do have a statistic from our own data that I think it's like 80% of Habitat homeowners stay in their house at least until their mortgage is paid off. And then we stop tracking it. But so, yeah.
Even anecdotally, just knowing someone being in there for that was a community project that was part of the program, but that's also someone's home base for 38 years. This isn't I think it's neat to know. Sometimes you hear about helping and you think, but did they stay there long term, and did it have a lasting effect? And that's one way to really see that lasting effect is being long term in that spot. Okay, so I love thrift stores. So I want to talk more about what these restores are because I want to make sure other folks know what they are. Because I would be wondering if I said, Habitat for Humanity has a restore and is for building material. Is it old building materials? What does that mean? So tell me what folks can find at a restore.
Yeah, good question. So we have all kinds of things. So we do have sections of building materials. Some of it is donated. We take like full packages of things that are donated. Some of it is donated new from different companies who maybe have overstock. And then we purchase some things as well, but we don't only have building materials. We also have lots of furniture, home goods, painting supplies. That's a new one that we carry now, and we've been hearing great feedback from people. So this is actually like way below the price that you'd find in other stores. And it's actually recycled paint, but it's like a really high quality. People love the coverage of it.
They're new items. If you're talking about flooring, it's not the flooring you pulled up out of someone's old house and stuck in there. This is the unopened package of flooring that someone didn't need on a site or
Correct. Yes,
things
yes.
like that.
Especially flooring. We actually purchase it and are able to offer it at a discount. But sometimes we do have windows that came out of someone's house that maybe you could use in a greenhouse, or doors that still have a lot of life left in them. One of the biggest goals of the restore is to keep usable items out of the landfill. And so yeah, we are able to give new life to things that still have a lot of life left in them.
So it's a space where I'm a thrifter, so I know I can go to get good deals on things, but not just if I'm building, because it sounds like furniture, home goods, things like that. If I am redoing a room and changing out my furniture, do you take donations? What are you looking for from the public to add to your restore?
Yeah, absolutely. We do take donations, and we are only able to operate and exist because of people donating their things that they don't need anymore. And so you can drop donations off at any of our restores. Check our website for the times that we are open. But also you can schedule a free donation pickup. So we are able to come to your house and pick up your donation and then bring it back to our restore.
What are the most popular things that you're looking for that folks love to find at your restores?
Cabinets are one of our biggest sellers. We have both used cabinets, and then we now are offering new cabinets as well. So custom cabinets with a partnership through a local cabinet maker. And these are great quality cabinets at a price lower than you would find at other home improvement stores. People really love our rugs. So we actually sell new rugs and keep those in stock all the time. And then, of course, furniture. If you need a new couch or chair, dining room table, we have all of that. And people know that and go to the restore for that.
And a misconception that you get is that this is all the building materials and the furniture are for the homes you're building, but they're not. The store supports your home building, but the items in the store aren't necessarily for that.
That is correct, yes. So that's one of our biggest misconceptions. So we are open to the public. We want you to come in and shop. We use new building materials or donated building materials for our homes.
What do you see are the ways that the restore impacts the community?
The restore is able to divert about 4.7 million pounds of waste from the landfills, which is one of our biggest goals. But it also has helped to build about 6 homes every year, so that the revenue that we make from the restores is able to build those homes. So that is huge. We can't underestimate the impact that the restore has on our community. And we actually have 6 restores now in the greater Cincinnati area. We just opened one in Loveland.
You've talked about the messages on the framing. And I like those specific images. You've talked about a mom saying, guess what, because of this, my kid was able to finish college. Are there any other specific moments where you think, yeah, I get to be part of this. This is the best ever?
At Habitat, we have a special tradition of dedicating the home once it's complete. So we we invite past volunteers who help build the house and community members. So there's a lot of times we'll have the mayor of the town come and speak. Any donors who supported the home will come and speak. And then the homeowner gets to also share about their journey and what it was like to build their home. But a lot of times at those dedications, that is the first time that the kids get to see the home, because like I said, only 16 and up are allowed on a build site for safety reasons. So when they come to the home, we'll open the door for them before the dedication. And I love seeing them run through the home, and they're always trying to figure out which one is their room and what color they're going to paint it and where they're going to put their stuff. So that's my favorite part.
That's so fantastic. So I was one of those people that watched the Move the Bus show. And that's why you watch the show, is you watch the show for that moment. But also now we know they weren't doing those with all of the community support that you're setting this up with for success. And to imagine those kind of amazing moments, but with a long-term success, that's just happening in our neighborhood, happening in our community all year, right down the street. These are not Hollywood moments. These are real moments that you're making happening for these children and these families. That makes me so happy. Let's mention again where people can go for information, because you mentioned at the beginning.
Yep. So our website is habitatcincinnati.org. A few times a year, we do have open applications for our homeownership program. We always update it on the 10th of the month. So I can't tell you exactly when, but the 10th of the month is when we will update the website. You'll find applications for our home repair programs, for our affordable homeownership program, and for how to volunteer and how to donate.
Okay, so that'll cover everything. We went through everything really quickly here, so make sure you go to that website if you have questions or you need to know more information about anything that we mentioned, or if you need to reach out to them and say, I think I heard you say this, what did that mean? That website will be a good spot to start for all of that. I want to thank you for joining us. And before we wrap up, I want to ask you if there's anything else that we should know about.
Yeah, so I'd like to mention our construction training program. So this is a partnership with CityLink Center. And so through our construction training program, anyone who wants to enter a career in the construction industry can go and take classes through us. And so this is a 6-week program. So you will get OSHA certified. You'll get some other certifications that different employers want you to have to enter the construction industry. And then you'll actually spend time on our Habitat sites, getting hands-on experience, building homes, and hoping to jumpstart your career.
What a neat partnership with the community. And I was already thinking that when it came to the volunteers, I was thinking, gee, I wonder if anyone volunteering ever just gets the bug and says, I want to do this as a career.
It just made sense because, we have the place where you can get hands-on training. And there is such a need in our community to build more homes. And in order to do that, we need more construction professionals. And so, we're so grateful to offer this program. And we actually partner with a bunch of different construction companies. And they'll come in and interview some of our students. And a lot of them get hired in those companies.
I don't think there's any other career path that's that clearly connected and stepped out. So that's fantastic that I know of anyhow. And if you know of one, please let me know. I love that. And I'm guessing that it's the same website that we've been saying the whole program that has information about that too.
Yes. So our website, habitatcincinnati.org, you can go there and find information about attending our classes, getting connected to the training program. But also, if you work in the construction industry and are needing to hire new employees, reach out to us there as well, and you can get connected and interview some really great candidates.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you again for coming into the studio and telling us all about this. I have learned a lot about stuff that's going on in my own community that I didn't know was happening, and I'm so excited to share this. And we have been talking about Habitat for Humanity in Greater Cincinnati on Waycross Community Forum. My name is Dana Gagnon, and thanks for joining us.